Hi friends, today we're going to be doing lesson 3.2. Lesson 3.2 is on page 145. So lesson 3.2 talks about relating addition and multiplication. That just means we're going to take a look at how addition and multiplication connect to each other. So let's go ahead and read the problem. Follow along with me. Tamika needs 3 apples to make 1 loaf of apple bread. Each loaf has the same number of apples. How many apples does Tamika need to make 4 loaves? All right, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to break this problem down for you. I'm going to start by circling the numbers. The first number I'm going to circle is 3 because we know that we've got 3 apples to make 1 loaf of bread. Now, I need to look at how many apples she needs to make 4 loaves. So my main numbers are going to be 3 and 4. Now, I got to underline the question. Well, the question is, how many apples does Tamika need to make 4 loaves? All right? And then I'm going to go ahead and box my operation clues. So my operation clues in multiplication, a big one is the word each. The word each tells me that I'm going to have groups and they're each going to have the same number. I'm also going to box same number. That tells me that I'm going to do repeated addition or the same number over and over again. Alrighty, so how many loaves is she making? Well, we circled 4 here that she's making 4 loaves. So Tamika is making 4 loaves. How many apples are in each loaf? It says she needs 3 apples to make 1 loaf. Now, how can we solve the problem? Well, we learned in our last lesson that making equal groups will help us solve multiplication. So I'm going to solve the problem by making equal groups. Now, the first way we can do it is we can add equal groups. So here the directions say, use the 4 circles to show the 4 loaves. Draw 3 counters in each circle to show the apples Tamika needs for each loaf. So we've got 4 loaves and we've got 3 apples to make 1. So we're going to put 3 apples into each loaf. In the last lesson, I talked about drawing them the same way each time. That will just help your brain to keep your numbers organized. So I would recommend drawing it the same way every time. All right, so I've got 4 loaves, and there are 3 in each of my loaves. So now it says to find the number of counters. So what we can do to find the total number, in the last lesson we skip counted. This lesson we're going to do an addition sentence. So to find out how many there are, I can do 3 plus 3 more, plus 3 more, plus 3 more. So our repeated addition sentence is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. And now we need to figure out what that means. So I know that 3 plus 3 is going to give me 6. Plus 3 more is going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 3 more, well, I know that 9 plus 3, 9, 10, 11, 12 is 12. So Tamika needs, well, this is our answer, so she needs 12 apples to make how many loaves? Well, when we broke down the problem up here, we circled 4 loaves, and we also wrote 4 loaves down here. So she's going to need 12 apples to make 4 loaves of apple bread. All right, now go ahead and flip it over to the back. We're going to solve the next way. So another way that we can solve a problem like this is to multiply. That's what this whole chapter is about. So when we combine equal groups, we can multiply to figure out how many there are in all. So multiply just means counting equal groups to find how many. So for this problem, we're thinking about 4 groups of 3 because we have 4 loaves with 3 in each. So we need to redraw the problem that we drew on the front. So we drew 3 apples on each loaf. So go ahead and do that. All right, so we group them up. Since there are the same number of counters in each circle, we can multiply to find how many there are in all. Multiplication is basically another way to find out how many there are altogether when you have equal groups. So we write multiplication problems in 2 ways. The first is horizontally. The second way is vertically. So you can see here they wrote out 4 times 3 equals 12, or we can do it 4 times 3 equals 12. Can you think of another time that we can have the option to write it horizontally or vertically? If you're thinking about addition or subtraction, you are correct. When we do addition and subtraction, it's the same thing. You can write it horizontally or you can write it vertically. Now, the important thing for you to know is that there are 2 parts, well, really 3 parts to a multiplication sentence. We have 2 factors and we have 1 product. So the factors in a multiplication problem are the numbers that are being multiplied. So in this problem, we have 4 times 3. 4 loaves with 3 in each. So 4 and 3 are our factors. In each problem, we have 1 product. Now the product comes after the equal sign or our horizontal line. So a product is just the answer to a multiplication problem. All right, so you can write it 4 times 3 equals 12 like this. And that's basically saying my factor times my factor is going to give me my product. Or you can write it this way, saying 4 times 3, my factor times my factor equals my product. So now when we read this, we read it as 4 times 3 equals 12. Awesome job today. You can go ahead and go on to the next part of your activity.